Yes, let's quickly flash back and look at this holistically. How Abba Kyari illegally took over slain suspected properties, pocketed millions of naira as rent. Ayati Magbo, Wati Magbo. Yes, the details are part of a report sent to the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, by the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency. On Monday, fresh facts emerged on how suspended Super Cop and former commander of the Intelligence Response Team, DCP Abba Kyari, as well as his deputy, ACP Sunday Uba, allegedly received a combined 4.2 billion naira in their separate bank accounts. The details are part of a report sent to the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. According to the Drug Enforcement Agency, not less than 1.4 billion naira passed through Kyari's account while he was a commander of the IRC. However, Kyari's deputy Uba received far more than him, as not less than 2.8 billion naira was traced to his 8 bank accounts. Then in 2019, the IRT and elite crime busting squad, led by the suspended officer, came under fire over its fraudulent takeover of a multi-billion naira properties owned by Collins Èźèñwa, a suspected kidnapper killed by the police the previous year. After conducting their separate investigations, the National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, and Amnesty International had accused Kyari's IRT of gross human rights abuses and illegal expropriation of suspected proceeds of crime. Now, it's gathered in a petition to Ibrahim Idris, the then Inspector General of Police. Amnesty International had said that Kyari's led team had been maltreating Èźèñwa's wife while depleting his assets, which included a 220 million naira hotel in Enugu and 8 apartments worth about 180 million naira. I said it again, 180 million naira. This were the report. It's also gathered that there were properties that were identified as of the time the petition was sent to Idris on October 23, 2018. And it did not include a fleet of exotic vehicles that Èźèñwa owned. According to Amnesty International, the alleged kidnapper was killed by the Police Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SAS, in Imo State, but in a desperate plot to have access to his properties. Kyari and his men have taken over the case. Damian Ugu, a researcher with Amnesty International, he told Premium Times that the IRT started aiming for Èźèñwa's properties immediately he was killed. Then it was because of their unlimited powers in the police. They dubiously took over the case from the Imo State government, Imo State Command, and started identifying possible assets of Mr. Èźèñwa shortly after he was killed, Ugu said. Now they threw his wife and infant son out of some properties, including his hotel, and started collecting rents from them. More than a year later, they have not approached any court for an order to confiscate his properties. Our findings showed that they were just collecting rents and putting the money in private accounts for their own use. Then Èźèñwa's wife, who was 4 months pregnant when her husband was killed, she gave birth on June 17, 2019, and was also arrested less than 2 months after. She was whisked to Lagos by Kyari's men and detained for 2 weeks. Mrs. Èźèñwa revealed that Kyari ordered her release on the grounds that she would turn in all the original documents of the properties. Wow, this is so very disheartening and appalling. Then Ugu also revealed that several family members and associates of the deceased were also arrested and victimized in the process. Although Kyari denied allegations of victimizing the deceased wife, He also claimed that he to have the right to confiscate her husband's properties. However, Abdul Mahmood, a Nigerian lawyer and a convener of the Public Interest Lawyers League, debunked the claim. The lawyer said only the court could deprive a citizen of a disputed property. Wow. So Abba Kyari has committed a whole lot of and a whole huge lot of atrocities. We say when we say iniquity should abound, and you needed grace. Wow, this is iniquity upon iniquity. And they would say yes, the devil is a human is the devil. And why is that so? Greed. Well, I will not talk much of Èźèñwa because the dead is the dead, and we believe those that are still alive. I believe Èźèñwa has done his own part. You as a social anti-robbery squad, or rather an entity, a human, has deregulated yourself to that level whereby you lay verdict, you give judgment at will. No, it shouldn't be. Then that is why we have the government. The government who have not really been able to cater for themselves, to guide themselves properly. We want to lay verdict towards a human being. Yes, Èźèñwa might have committed atrocities and might be a kidnapper. Èźèñwa was just fortunate to have his way as a then. Well, they will say, he who killed by the gun dies by the gun. He who killed by the sword die by the sword. Now, Abba Kyari has really acted with impunity, just because immunity guides him, and he is in the police force or is a government. Because when you say you are a government, it does not really mean attending any post. We are government when democracy is concerned. Because when you say democracy is the government of the people, for the people and by the people, I would want to elaborate more and enlighten us especially in the part of the dark Nigeria as a country. Because when Nnamdi Kanu was saying Nigeria is a contraption, he knew what he was saying. Though Nigerians would not believe that, but as it is, we already believe. Why they do not believe is just because that is a negative word, and negativity does not depict positivity, and that is why I would say nemesis definitely would catch up on anyone who acts with impunity, just because yes, I am superior. No one is superior. No one has a monopoly of power as Abba Kyari has did or has done. Now, yes, he will face his charges. Because even God himself will lay judgment, but God in his infinite mercy would always give a second chance. Would want you to make sure that yes, my son, he will change, and eventually if he does not change, he will leave him to the prey, the hands of the prey, to deal with. But notwithstanding, Abba Kyari has hardened heart, and he had never wanted to change. Even when FBI came, NDLEA came, he was running helter-skelter. Now how it can be, and that is what it is. This is word coming from Independent TV 7, and it is the word of God. Because as it is, I would say, if you think you are smart, let's see how smart you are. Are you smarter than God? Then in the Bible, when Jesus was passing by, when they wanted to stone Stephen to death, he said, "He who have no sin should cast the first stone." He who have no sin should cast the first stone.